A cold front is pushing in, bringing with it lightning, thunder, and rain. The Fox 23 severe weather team's out on the roads tracking how this could impact your drive. More remains uncovered at Tulsa's Oak Lawn Cemetery, how the community is honoring lives lost in the Tulsa race massacre. We are less than 2 weeks away from the presidential election, what local leaders are doing to keep everyone safe while casting their votes.
Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Lynn. The time now 4:30. You may have gotten an early wake-up call. Storms rolled through Tulsa within the last hour. Roads are still wet. We've got live severe weather team coverage tracking how long this rain might impact your drive and when the bottom's going to drop out of our temperatures. Let's go straight to meteorologist Megan McClellan in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking those storms.
Well, we've seen those storms roll through this morning with the morning storms.
This morning, Tulsa police are on Operation Slick Streets. Our live severe weather team coverage continues with Fox 23's Amanda Gilbert. She and her photographer are out on the road, so you know exactly what to expect. What's it like out there?
Well, Michelle, we're on Sheridan. We're headed south. We're in South Tulsa, so I'm giving you a look at the roads right now. I will say things are much better right now compared to about 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, it was that type of rain that was just downpouring, that rain where if you're outside and you'll be drenched in seconds. So it does appear that the rain has calmed down a bit. I have seen a lot of pooling on the side of both main roads and side roads. I'll try to point that out here on the side right here. You can see the reflection of the lights on the road, so it just shows how slick conditions are right now, so you do need to be careful. Definitely a lot changing though throughout the morning, so we'll see what conditions are like coming up here in the next 30 minutes. Covering news that matters, I'm Amanda Gilbert, Fox 23 News.
Our coverage of news that matters turns now to the coronavirus in Oklahoma. We've got another one-day high of coronavirus cases. The state health department announced 1,628 cases Thursday. Our running total since March tops 112,000. There are 11 newly reported COVID-19 deaths. Oklahoma's death toll is 1,221. Active cases are continuing to climb. We're at another new high. There are now more than 15,000 active cases statewide. In a developing story, community members are remembering the victims of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. Archaeologists uncovered the remains of at least 12 people in a mass grave at Oak Lawn Cemetery. Fox 23's Naomi Kitt is live at the cemetery with the call for justice.
Michelle, faith leaders at Fox 23 News.
We are learning more about the discovery of a mass grave in Tulsa's Oak Lawn Cemetery. Over the winter, the city will work with the medical examiner's office to get clearance to exhume the remains. It will take the court's approval to bring the 12 coffins above ground. The survey team believes they've only uncovered a third of this mass grave shaft.
Extract and examine these burials in a way that will maximize our one shot at identifying them and analyzing them.
So far, the city spent $75,000 on the graves investigation. It was built into this year's budget. At 4:35, two Tulsa activists are organizing what they describe as a healing event for the black community. Cody Ransom and Richard Baxter want to make it clear the Black on Black Respect March is not a Black Lives Matter event. They say it's about honoring lives lost in the black community and demonstrating that they care about each other.
The black on black is flipped because we're flipping the narrative of black on black. When you hear black on black is generally associated, next is something negative, crime, violence, something like that. And we're flipping this narrative. When you hear black on black, it's going to be black on black respect, black on black love, black on black commerce, black on black unity, so we can move forward.
The Black on Black Respect March is happening tomorrow at noon at Solid Foundation Prep Academy. They'll march to Chamberlain Park for a cookout with free barbecue and live music. The site of an old hotel on Tulsa's stretch of historic Route 66 is undergoing renovations. We've told you the former Saratoga Motel near 11th and Highway 169 is now owned by Wings of Freedom, a faith-based sober living program. The director explained why they're turning this space into a multi-tenant complex.
there's so much need right now for people to change their lives. They need a safe place to go, a place where they don't have drugs in front of their face, and an opportunity. It's a hand up, it's not a handout. It's an opportunity for them to get their lives together and put their lives back together.
He says more than 1,100 people have successfully gone through the program and restored their lives. Tulsa police arrested this woman. They say she set fire inside a house and threw a knife at them. We brought you this live as breaking news right here Thursday morning. It happened near 17th and Quaker. Police say this woman, Casey Eicher, sprayed lighter fluid on the porch and tried to set it on fire. When that failed, she went inside and grabbed a knife, then threw it at officers, narrowly missing an officer. They fired pepper balls. Then they say she went back inside and started a fire. Officers got her out. She faces arson and assault charges. At 4:37, JCPenney believes it will emerge from Chapter 11 bankruptcy before Christmas with a proposal that would save tens of thousands of jobs. This would involve the nation's two biggest mall owners, Brookfield Asset Management and Simon Property Group, acquiring JCPenney's retail and operating assets. The chain has locations in our area in Tulsa, Owasso, and Muskogee. Now to our coverage of You Decide 2020 and the final debate between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. It really had no effect on more than 47 million Americans who've already voted. That tops the total number of early ballots cast in 2016. Thursday night at the Curb Event Center on the campus of Belmont University in Nashville, the pandemic was the first point of discussion and disagreement. The president saying our country's moving past the pandemic, while Biden said even if vaccines are approved in the coming weeks, health experts have made it clear our country will likely be dealing with this most of next year.
We're opening up our country. We've learned and studied and understand the disease, which we didn't at the beginning.
He did virtually nothing, and then he gets out of the hospital and he talks about don't worry, it's all going to be over soon. Come on. There's not another serious scientist in the world who thinks it's going to be over soon.
To take a coronavirus vaccine.
President Trump pushed back at that remark, saying, quote, "We're learning to live with it." The Affordable Care Act was also a big point of contention, with the president accusing Biden of supporting socialized medicine. Biden says his plan would let everyone keep their private insurance if they choose and includes a public option for everyone else. Coming up later in this newscast, we'll show you what's happening to help with crowds and coronavirus to make sure you can safely vote right here in Green Country. The Fox 23 severe weather team tracking storms this morning. Here's some video. You can see the bright flashes of lightning in the sky. Our own Tiffany Alaniz shot this video just about an hour ago. Maybe you got an early wake-up call. Not exactly ideal, but at least it's Friday. Meteorologist Megan McClellan is in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking that line of storms. If you think the storms are bad, just wait till you feel the cold front.
Yeah, well, this is all moving through because of a cold front. Coming up in 10 minutes, I'm breaking down more about what I'm tracking with the rain and storms this morning, along with that cold front.
The time now 4:41. A cold front pushing in. Some of us could be getting a taste of wintry weather in the coming days. The warning from Tulsa firefighters before you try to stay warm.
We have such a historical and preserved town, and so it just needs a little TLC, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here for growth and rejuvenation.
Helping Sepulpa thrive, the new plan to bring new businesses into the downtown area. A lot of people are worried about voting during a pandemic. The improvements in one part of our area to make things safer for you. 4:44 in our You Decide 2020 coverage. The Rogers County Election Board's getting a makeover just in time for early voting crowds. Fox 23's Scott Martin is live with how the renovations will make it easier for you.
Yeah, Michelle, they're really thinking about the people in their community, how to keep them safe as they get ready to come cast their vote, either in the early election or if they're just going to come in person and vote.
The city of Sepulpa is working to attract more businesses downtown. They started working on a master plan to develop growth and opportunity for businesses in the area. Ken Boone, who's part of the team developing the plan, says they made sure to get community input before they started planning this transformation.
Our process is to build it with the community, make sure that their desires are in the plan so that they can move their desires forward. The
city is paying for it through a bond issue voters approved earlier this year. As cold temperatures are headed our way, more of us may be getting out the space heaters. The Tulsa Fire Department wants to remind you, be careful when you set them up. They say every year they respond to several fires that are started by space heaters. Don't leave it on when you're not home. Don't put it where it could easily be knocked over. They recommend a flat surface, and they say plug it directly into the wall. Do not use an extension cord.
They've tried to make these safer, but they are a significant danger. So it's important that you're very careful and you do your best to keep yourself safe.
As far as making them safer, some space heaters now have tip-over protection so they don't fall over and accidentally start a fire. Tulsa's SPCA is urging you, do not forget about your pets. With those colder temperatures headed our way, they say if it's too cold for you, it's too cold for your pets. They offer classes to teach dogs that typically stay outside how to behave when they're allowed indoors and not tear up your home. The SPCA is also providing dog houses for dogs that cannot come inside, and they say you can also request a loaner crate. Yup, we are talking about temperatures that cold. Ugh, not a fan. Meteorologist Megan McClellan's in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking that cold front and the storms that are rolling through.
And this is just the first of a couple of cold fronts that'll be rolling through. Coming up in the next half hour, I'm breaking down more about what you can expect as you're headed out the door and as we track this cold front moving through.
The time now, 4:50. A fun event ahead of Halloween, the zombie twist on a 5K that could help people finish their college degrees. A piece of history right here in Tulsa when you can see a plane from World War II. 4:54 happening today. You can check out a piece of World War II history at the Tulsa Air and Space Museum. We told you about this. They announced the B-17G Yankee Lady will be on display today and tomorrow. Take a look at it. Wow. You'll be able to tour the plane for $10 or even book a flight that costs a little more, $475, but wow, what an experience. The B-17 plane was known in World War II for its success in bombing enemy positions, earning itself the nickname the Flying Fortress. While you're there, you can also tour the B-24 bomber exhibit. The last one of these bombers was built in Tulsa back in December 1944. It was called the Tulsa American. That plane wound up crashing into the Adriatic Sea while returning from a mission in Europe. Its 10-man crew was never found. There's a new virtual program to get kids excited about dental health. Many have gone without proper dental care because of the pandemic, so the Delta Dental of Oklahoma Foundation has altered the program they typically take into schools, turning it virtual, complete with this superhero mascot.
It's important to do this because our teeth are connected to the rest of our bodies, and we also want to make it fun and fun to do.
To get your kids a virtual session with Captain Supertooth, just go to CaptainSupertooth.com. The time now is 4:55, remembering lives lost almost 100 years ago. What people who came together want done to honor the victims of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Halloween just a little more than a week away, how you can celebrate with Buck Adam and how the friendly giant is getting ready to be really festive.
And taking a live look at Fox 23 Doppler Radar, I'm tracking storms rolling through thanks to a cold front. How cold temperatures are behind the front and where I'm seeing the heaviest rain coming up in 3 minutes.